Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video we are taking a look at S&P 500, Nasdaq, that is SPY and QQQ, and then also tech stocks, Microsoft, Apple, Meta, Netflix, Google, and Amazon. There's still just over 2 minutes left for the market to close, but I want to go over what the market is doing right now because we have some structure breakings today. So let's start off with SPY, but before that I also want to let you know none of this is any financial advice and is only for education purposes. All right, so SPY, we're talking about this blue box here from 550 all the way to 555, and even though intraday weakness was coming, we still wanted to see full break of structure though below 20 days moving average, and pretty much today is that what we got, break below 20 days moving average, and we are also losing the bottom of the blue box, thus losing a pivotal support structure here on SPY. So this was the area below 555 where weakness would start to come in, and then this is where it has now finally broken the structure as well, 550 on SPY. Now it opens up the door for it to come down to 542 maybe next week, but we'll see the price action. Also, when the market has closed, I'll do another video over the weekend on SPY and QQQ with the tech stocks, and we'll take a look at then. But let's go to the hourly interval, and you can see that still today, well, we are below 200 hours moving average. This trend line, the lower highs, lower lows trend line that I have drawn, we never got out of it. Any rebound even that came, even until just 20 hours moving average, got shorted. There is no sign of bullishness. If SPY wants to regain any, it's not going to become bullish right away, but if SPY wants to give bulls some more directional confirmation, then for that first we have to close without falling much further above 551 or 552, or at least to begin with, you know, above that into the blue box and above 20 days moving average. But otherwise now SPY most likely will continue to stay bearish now. And as long as now we stay below 20 days moving average, below the blue box, this thing is just continuing lower. All right, so that's SPY. Above that, structure would change, but otherwise no. If any position is taken, that has to be taken with the stop loss on the other side of the other 20 days moving average, or into the somewhere above high end of the blue box, right? But that's the position to the downside. So yes, SPY is right now in the downtrend fully. It has broken the bottom of the blue box. Unless it reclaims it with 20 days moving average, it's not getting bullish. QQQ broke the structure way early on down below this blue box as what I mentioned, and then since then you can see we have been just crawling our way down. It's almost coming down to 50 days moving average, but yeah, after we lose 473 and 88 cents with 50 days moving average, the next level to watch would be then 460. It opens up the door to 460 then. So that's QQQ. And also on the hourly interval, you can see that we are just constantly still lower highs, lower lows, right? And there is nothing else that I'm seeing here. Yeah, it's still lower highs, lower lows. Yeah, no structure to the upside so far. All right, that's QQQ. So I forgot to mention about Netflix earnings yesterday. We had earnings of Netflix yesterday, but we'll talk about that in just a second. So Microsoft, guys, I provided you this blue box. Is that where we would most likely come eventually after cracking that blue box on the upside? We are down there. Now this is the level you are watching, guys, bottom of the blue box, 430. There is a good strong support over here. All right. When I say good support, you still have to see the price action. Just like today, you can see right up above that, price action is getting bought back up. But as we are in the downtrend, we are still in the downtrend, okay? If the price action has to hold here, you have to see some consolidation support here, and then again back again to the upside. One candle would not do anything. And you can see we are rejecting underneath of the 50 days moving average as well after going up. So technically this is still rejecting. If Microsoft has to go up from here, it has to, without further breaking below the blue box, it has to get out of this lower moving trend line that I have provided you. You can see precisely it's still rejecting at that lower moving trend line, right? That one that I have drawn here for you guys. So yeah, as long as we are below that, we are still in the bearish structure. Even intraday rebound with confidence is better to trade only at those support levels as they came, right? And also if we form a pivot here and then tries to go back up again, then if we break out of that trend line, then sure. Otherwise, no. Technically, this is still in the downtrend. And this is Apple. So let's go to the daily interval first. So technically, it's still holding above 20 days moving average on Apple. The full overall swing structure or the directional change would come below the level of 220, but until then, intraday cool-offs are coming. And on hourly interval, yeah, and as soon as we break $220, guys, you can expect some massive move to the downside. But until then, yeah, traded only intraday, and intraday the cool-offs have been coming to the downside, and you can see we're still rejecting any rebound underneath of 200 hours moving average, this lower moving trend line. We are still rejecting, you know, underneath of that. And if Apple has to, again, any trade to the upside, I would suggest only if we get out of this trend line with one of the levels break to the upside, thus breaking out of a pivot and then potentially going up. Otherwise, no. All right. So that's Apple. Let's take a look at Meta now. So Meta continuing a little bit more green days, but you can see it's still selling off. And again, overall structure hasn't really changed, guys. We are still in the lower highs, lower lows. This was the previous, you know, break of the pivot, right? And we are still rejecting underneath of that technically. So overall structure is still not bullish. Intraday rebounds have been coming. That's fine. Let's go to the hourly interval, but structure hasn't really changed back again to the upside. Let's see if the rebounds can continue more and what to look for. So this is something I talked about yesterday as well, that a little bit of rebounds can be traded to the upside as they continue to hold these pivots. And you can see Meta is following this intraday rebound trend line almost. So yeah, if anytime we lose this 20 hours moving average, 50 hours moving average, and 476 Meta will start to come lower, that will be an intraday short play. And also technically the direction is still to the downside on this thing, right? And if we continue to hold this trend line, yeah, technical can stay up, but only downside intraday, the next play would only come if we lose 20, 50 hours moving average from here on, and also lose 476 from where the price is right now. All right, Netflix. So Netflix had its earnings yesterday, and I think they beat everything on that. But again, I'm not gonna go in the numbers, guys. Doesn't matter to me. We have chart in our hand already after earnings, and we'll just trade with that. So that's what it is. They, you know, at least they beat the Wall Street expectations, but trend didn't really change on Netflix after earnings. And we still continue to stay in the downtrend. You can see today we had a good spike, but eventually we sold off in the overhead resistance of that blue box. Netflix is still negative, and with this, you know, even after earnings, this thing couldn't do much to the upside. I won't be surprised if this thing now continues lower. And also this level I provided to watch, right, 635, this was a very important level. We have lost this level as well, and that's a problem. So problem for the bulls. But yeah, this opens up the door for it to continue lower. We are still in the lower highs, lower lows downtrend right now. Google. So Google continues to also go down, and we are right at that 50 days moving average. This was one of the plays, you know, once we lost the level of 185, we came down to this 50 days moving average and this area of 178 and 74 cents. We're trying to find some support here. Once we lose it, then definitely just trade it level by level to the downside, right? And with the stop loss on the other side. But yeah, right now structure on Google is still to the downtrend. I'm not seeing any upside right now. If from here Google has to give any rebound, then that would be, guys, let's do, yeah, well, I have a trend line drawn already for you on hourly interval, and you can see we are still rejecting so precisely there, right? So just use that trend line to trade short or long, right? If we get out of this trend line without getting further lower, without losing this previous pivot down here, then some intraday rebounds may continue to the upside. All right, Amazon. So Amazon, let's go to the daily interval first. We'll jump to the hourly interval then. So some buying is coming on this thing, but guys, it's just a rebound in the already ongoing now downtrend. Once we lost that blue box over here, I'm going to delete the previous blue box. We don't need that anymore. But yeah, once we lost that blue box, we pretty much just are in the downtrend at this point. Yeah, even any rebound comes until like anyhow to the blue box if it comes. But intraday you can trade rebounds. We'll talk about that in just a second. But until then, the structure is still bearish. Overall structure until 189 and 69 cents. That will be just a rebound, and that would be it. Only trade that intraday. Otherwise, yeah, this thing will continue lower. So intraday, as I said, rebound is coming, which is fine. After such a sell-off, these rebounds can come. You can see Amazon tried to sell off in the pre-market, then got bought back up as well. But yeah, still rejecting overhead resistance here, 184.95 cents. From here on, I mean, if this may also start to become inverted head and shoulder, we'll see. If anytime if it comes lower, finds a pivot, gets above 20 hours moving average, I would highly, then first rebound can be traded until 50 hours moving average or this overhead resistance 185, but next rebound would only come when we get out of this trend line, also above $185. Then 189 is a possibility, only intraday trade though. Yeah, because overall structure is though technically still bearish on Amazon, right? All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, valuable, please hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.